Anime ruined me. Same. It ruined me so much that I became an anime woman. How much more ruined can you be by anime? Sie sind das Essen und wir sind die Jäger. Dun 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 dun.
I did not set out to cry over anime sword-wielding teenagers, but it did happen. One minute I'm collecting Pokemon plushies, the next I'm...
Oh my god, that Pikachu looks so freaking cursed. What is that Mewtwo? Eevee looks like it's suffering.
I'm wearing a brown military jacket and feeling
I'm in the
extremely
way.
patriotic for a country that doesn't
Sorry, I'm on the way. We'll move things around.
exist. But before I tell you how I got there, let me just say this. When I first discovered anime, it hit me in a way that nothing really else had. It was the first time
Bro, great anime. Freaking what was it called again? I don't remember. I only remember her name, 02. The ending though! Darling in the Franxx, right. The ending! It's like it came out of nowhere! Like, what the hell? Like, I felt like there was no foreshadowing, there was no setup, it was just like, bam! By the way, aliens!
I'd watched a show that not only didn't kind of skip past some of these heavier emotions,
Toradora is amazing. Honestly, one of my favorite romance anime ever. Fruit Basket, I've only watched like the first and a half seasons of the new remake.
it also didn't even deliver them
It's
in
really
the
good,
typical
though.
way that I had been used to. It really sat in them, soaked in them, uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Anohana. We gotta watch Anohana. I've seen Anohana years ago. That is such a good one. Oh my god. Bro, Anohana goated. Yeah, Anohana. Oh my. Anohana is so good.
At times, and it caused something in me to shift. The characters weren't just cool or funny or exaggerated, they were emotional disasters.
Melancholy. Melancholy? Melancholy. Melancholy? Melancholan. Melancholan. Of Susumiya Harui.
In the very best way. Screaming, breaking down, trying to hold everything together.
Parasite amazing.
Loud, messy, sometimes even ridiculous, but it never felt
This start, like, me and Hexagon watched the start of this. What was this? Hunter x Hunter. I don't know. The start is so fucking slow and generic.
It's a
It's
shonen.
so bad.
It's a shonen.
I've watched shonen. I like shonen. This shonen is
Old.
yeah, yeah.
That's what it is.
It's old. Yeah, I guess that's it. All the Hunter x Hunter fans are gonna come for me now. They're all gonna hate on me. There's two versions. We watched the newer one. We watched the newer one. Yeah, we watched the 2011 one. Oh my god.
fake. All their pain, their joy, their hope, it all felt extremely real.
I've never watched Evangelion.
It wasn't just entertaining, it was very true. Sometimes
Death Note.
brutal, sometimes beautiful, sometimes both in the same 5 seconds. I'm talking extremely complicated trauma and high-stakes drama. And the monologues that would just want to make you hit pause and sit there just to catch your breath. And
Yeah, what a lot of people that are not into anime don't get is that anime is a medium and not a genre. Like, a lot of people just see anime as a genre for some fucking reason, but it's not. It's just, like, stylization, and there's many different sorts of, like, anime stylization. It's a medium to tell a story, just like gaming is a medium, and movies are a medium. This is dumb. What do you think of Helsing and Helsing? Oh, don't watch that. I'm sorry. I haven't seen so many classics. People are gonna hate me. Yep, though it has nothing on Bloodsea, bro. Bloodsea is the one with the... We watched Bloodsea, was it that one?
Huh?
Bloodsea, that's the anime with the big rabbit-looking thing that eats
Yes.
people. Did we not?
No.
No, there was like a movie that we didn't watch. We finished the season.
Yeah. Movies like literally like.
Oh shit. Oh, maybe we should watch that. Maybe we should watch that.
the animation, whether beautiful, grotesque, or dreamlike, it carried all of it. It made all of the feelings land, and it's some of the most beautiful art that I've ever seen. And with all of this, anime completely changed how I think about storytelling, about characters, about performances, about what draws you in and what keeps you there. I didn't even realize how much of it had shaped what I love, especially in games, until way, way later. And I didn't know it at the time, but that was when I started falling in love with a different kind of storytelling. The kind that remains with you and then shows up days later when you're just brushing your teeth.
Okay, but again, that's not all anime either. Again, anime is a medium. Not all anime are like that. But I guess it happens more in anime because it's easier to convey those feelings, like thinking about it. Because you have kind of the freedom that it's not IRL, that you can just draw whatever you want, right? Like, if you can imagine it, you can create it, more or less. I accidentally activated AI summary for my screen and the result was hilarious. AI overview. The image shows a VTuber named Kitsunero streaming on Twitch. The timestamp on the stream is 3:50:28. Kitsunero is known for being socially anxious but chaotic Kitsune VTuber. Isn't that just my Twitch description? We're grateful for the Fireflies, that's a different... I didn't watch that one either. Because I never watched that one growing up. And then I was always told that this one is gonna make you cry so hard, so I was scared to watch it.
Like, wait, why am I still thinking about that scene? And eventually, that love bled into the games I played too. Don't get me wrong, I need great mechanics and gameplay, but I started paying more attention to all of the gut punches in the more narrative games. The way that a scene is paced, the way a line is delivered, how sometimes silence can even hit harder than dialogue. Anime helped me realize that storytelling is not just about plot, it's about feeling. And once I noticed that, I could not unsee it. It's a huge part of why I care so much about the stories and characters I engage with now. So yes, this is my anime origin story. Because anime didn't just introduce me to cool characters and wild drama, even though yes, it absolutely did. But it showed me what I've always really loved.
Bro, one of the most beautiful and emotionally driven anime I've seen is Violet Evergarden. Like, beautiful, man. Like, it's... The animation is amazing. It's literally out of the world how beautiful it is, man.
Emotional, impactful storytelling. Let's begin. Like many 90s...
Wait, what show? Violet Evergarden by Kyoto Animations.
Kids, I was deep in the Pokemon trenches. Cards.
Oh yeah, same. I love Pokemon. And Digimon.
VHS tapes, plushies, full Pikachu lifestyle.
I couldn't, like, my parents couldn't afford all the merch and whatever, plus they wouldn't have let me have it anyway. So now I'm compensating as an adult, wasting all my money on plushies and cards. Yay! Thanks for sponsoring my addiction.
And then, when it came to what was allowed and what was not allowed, Dragon Ball Z was totally fine. Somehow watching a guy scream in a crater for 10 minutes was considered acceptable view.
Bro, this is one thing me, my siblings, my mom did together. We all watched Dragon Ball Z together. We waited every single day to watch the freaking Cell Saga together, man.
But Sailor Moon, that was a no-go. My mom said that the villains were too scary.
My mom didn't want me to watch Sailor Moon because they had adult relationship and they were lesbian couples. She didn't want me to watch it because of that, which I didn't get. Like, what? I don't know, as an adult now, I'd like Sailor Moon. I haven't watched it ever fully, but I do get the rest of it. I watched like 2 seasons, I watched a couple movies. So yeah.
Well, Mom, I'm so sorry if this is how you're finding out, but I still watched it. I didn't even know that it was anime at the time. I just knew that it had cute outfits, big feelings, talking cats with beautiful jewelry, and romance. It was magical and theatrical and completely unlike anything else on TV at the time. Flash forward to college. Yes, I know, that is quite the time jump. I had kind of forgotten about Pokemon and Sailor Moon, and life was totally normal. I was totally normal until one day.
Sorry, just gonna bring it up. Instead of Sailor Moon, I watched John Dark. Like Kamikatsu Kaito John Dark, or whatever the frick it is called in English. Kamikatsu Kaito John, whatever the hell. No idea. I love that one. I read the manga of it too. That was my magical girl anime.
My boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, said, I know you don't really watch anime, but we should totally watch this show called Attack on Titan. And
yes! Attack on Titan! No, Dear Angel. I read the manga of Dear Angel. It never aired on TV here. Attack on Titan, bro. When it was first airing, as you can imagine, I had to sail the 7 seas to watch it. But the website where I was watching it on, the provider, after two episodes, for some reason, the service messed it up and uploaded the Shibi episodes. So I gave up on it at that point. But I came back to it like, I don't know, a couple months later. And goddamn, I love the show. Literally one of my favorites. I'm obsessed with Attack on Titan. I need Attack on Titan figures. There aren't any good ones available.
To say I just watched it is a complete understatement. I suddenly went from having zero thoughts about anime ever to spiraling into emotional chaos. Within 4 episodes, I was pacing around my room, pausing, rewinding, attempting to memorize every ad break lore dump. It was just over for me at that point, just like that. Up until this point, I truly had never experienced storytelling delivered.
Attack on Titan has one of the best storytellings, though. Because there's so much foreshadowing, which you don't even know. Like, they drop so many hints everywhere that you just realize afterwards. Like, for example, like, this is, like, literally season 1 spoiler. If not season 2. More like season 1. Like, Reiner always refers to himself as warriors. While the others, like, everyone else is referring to themselves as soldiers. Like, one of the best hints ever. No one got that at the start. Like, oh my, like, bruh. I don't know. Attack on Titan, I love it. The season 2 ending credits. Oh my god. Yeah, like, Jesus. I have a friend who actually hates AOT, watched it all and said it was dog shit. I like what I saw. Why did he watch it all when he hated it? Like, what?
Delivered in this kind of way. It was extremely visceral, heavy, and it wasn't just dramatic, it felt very urgent, and I was instantly obsessed. At this point in time, I hadn't even noticed that anime wasn't quite cool yet. I didn't care. I was too busy spiraling. Shortly after discovering what anime was, I discovered what manga was, and the next thing I know, there I was reading manga in the Barnes & Noble aisle like I was studying some kind of forbidden lore. I had no table, no chair, it was just me crouched in the graphic novel section like I was decoding prophecy. It had truly felt like I had discovered some kind of secret society. I started watching AMVs and binge
Freaking AMVs. Oh god, I watched so many Oh fuck, bro. Bro, did we have 10 gifted memberships 20 minutes ago? Was it while I was on the toilet? Bro, what the hell? Someone just fucking shadow dropping 10 gifted while I'm on the fucking toilet. Either way, let's keep going. Let's keep going here.
lore deep dives on YouTube like they were documentaries. At some point, I even walked into Hot Topic with my part-time job money and walked out with the jacket. You know the one, the brown.
Yeah! Bro, my best friend had gifted me one of the capes, the green capes, the freedom capes. Oh, I loved it. Unfortunately, it broke because of cats. Cats destroyed it. But I loved it, bro. Ugh. Hot Topic didn't exist where I lived. Yeah, Hot Topic is more of an American thing. But yeah, I loved it. I should get one again. Was it comfy? I don't know. It looked cool. That's all, you know. I didn't have the jacket. I had the cape, the green cape.
First Attack on Titan jacket, and I wore it like
yeah,
it
American
was high
Idol
fashion.
then.
Like I had some kind of personal invite from Levi himself. At this point, I've been through all of our photos like 10 times trying to find a single one of me wearing this jacket, and I can't freaking find it.
Damn, that just reminds me. One of my last years in school, some dude showed up in a full. Oh, what are they called in Naruto again? Akatsuki? Are they called Akatsuki? Akatsuki. Akatsuki! Yeah, in a full Akatsuki suit, man. Someone just fucking showed up in that. just rode the entire day long. I don't know. Not the jacket, the entire robe. I don't know. I don't know, he was chilling.
So you're just gonna have to take my word for it, please. But it was my go-to, I promise. Until one day I was at a coffee shop ordering a drink, and
Yes.
the barista, in front of a full line of people, just points at my jacket and goes, "Oh hey, isn't that from an anime?" And I just kind of froze because this was the first time I'd ever had to say it out loud to a stranger in public with people listening all around me, and it totally caught me.
People. Ugh. What you even do at a cafe? Ugh. Stay home. Don't touch grass. That's dangerous.
Guard. I said, "Yeah, it's from Attack on Titan." And immediately I felt the eyes. The guy behind me,
Oh,
the girl
God.
near the pastry case.
Oh,
all
Lord.
silent, confused, judging. I
Oh,
honestly
no.
felt like I just confessed to being in a cult, but like a very enthusiastic one with playlists
That's how it used to feel.
and fan art. And that was my first real indicator that anime was still very much a niche thing in public. The jacket? Yeah, it quietly got reassigned to around my house only. But despite the jacket incident, I continued to dive deeper and deeper. Pulling up Crunchyroll, I was adding every big title I'd ever heard mentioned to my watch list. Tokyo Ghoul, Fate Stay Night, Maid Sama, Cowboy Bebop,
Wait, someone's so cute though.
Sword Art Online. But every
SAO!
show hit totally
Get
different, and my lineup was questionable, to say the least. I'd go from watching people get decapitated in Akamega Kill to crying over piano scenes in Your Lie in April to
Oh, your line, April.
quietly sobbing through A Silent Voice. The emotional
Oh, she's bringing up so many bangers.
tone shifts were at times very wild, but somehow it all worked together very weirdly well. But really, I should have known that I was primed for this, because before anime ever got to me, I had no idea that Kingdom Hearts had already paved the way. Going back to my childhood for a quick flashback. In 2005, my parents got me a PS2
Kingdom
Slim
Hearts.
for my birthday, and with it, none
Kingdom
other
Hearts
than
is so
Kingdom
good.
Hearts. From the gorgeous title screen music to blasting Simple and Clean in the first cutscene, I was just sitting on the floor, controller in hand, completely
Amazing games.
captivated by what I was seeing. The animation, the dreamlike tone, at that point in time, I had not experienced anything like it.
Also, people who said Kingdom Hearts 3 was shit are only saying that because they didn't play the other Kingdom Hearts games. Which, to be fair, it's kind of confusing that it's called Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3, and then you gotta play the side games to get the full story. But I played the side games. Some of them anyway. The important ones. And I loved it.
And I just kept replaying it. I would restart the game over and over again just to watch the intro. And whenever friends would come over to play, I'd be like, well, hold on, wait, let me just show you this really cool thing real fast. And I would boot up a whole new save file. They didn't always appreciate it, shall I say, but I was totally hooked. And that was probably my first real taste of emotional storytelling in games. But getting back on track, let's talk about some of the first characters I really fell in love with. The one
I just want to say about Kingdom Hearts real quick. My mom, made the mistake of buying Kingdom Hearts 2 first. Because the sellers had it listed very confusingly. She bought it off of eBay. I don't know. So we played Kingdom Hearts 2 first, and I could never get into Kingdom Hearts 1 because Kingdom Hearts 2 just had so many quality of life improvements over Kingdom Hearts 1. So I just got myself a fucking story recap for Kingdom Hearts 1. Whatever. Later on. But I love Kingdom Hearts 2, bro.
who maybe hit me at the worst possible time in the best possible way, and the ones I still think about more often than I probably should. The characters that truly unlocked my love for anime and impactful, heart-shaping storytelling. And along the way, I'll just be throwing out.
That's like playing Elden Ring and going back to Dark Souls 1. No, that's not true at all. Because Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 are connected, while Elden Ring and Dark Souls 1 are not connected. In regards of gameplay? Maybe. I guess. In regards, okay. Fair in regards of gameplay. Sure. Yeah, my bad.
Some game references that match the vibes, just in case. Now, one thing about me, I love a good archetype. The soft healer, the angry prodigy, the stoic weapon who absolutely feels too much but pretends otherwise. And the best part, these aren't just anime things. They show up in games all the time too. It's like emotional damage has its own genre, and I must really love it. Otherwise, you think,
Bro, emotional damage. I love myself a bittersweet story, man. Like, Planet? Absolutely, man.
think that I would have learned my lesson by now. So up first, we're gonna kick off our list with a bit of a gimme. Eren Yeager. The one who really started it all for me. He's angry, impulsive, and reckless, but kind of with just enough righteous fire that you root for him anyway. Watching Eren start to crack under the weight of everything, questioning his purpose, doubting himself, and then doubling down even harder. It felt very raw in a way that I hadn't seen before. And say what you want, but I am an Eren defender till the end. And honestly, once you've defended Eren Yeager,
wrong.
defending Joel from The Last of Us kind of feels like child's play. Edward
Yeah, of course. Why would you not defend Joel? Defending Joel is the right choice. What? Of course.
from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, my favorite Short King.
Yes. Agreed.
He's cocky, brilliant, and carrying so much guilt for a child. He's also very fiercely protective. His entire drive, the constant fixing, sacrificing, it always comes back to Al. That sibling bond is really the emotional engine for the entire show.
Bro, I've watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood so many times. It's about time I rewatch it again. It really is. It's been a few years now.
And Edward will hit you right in the feelings, especially if you love characters like Prompto from Final Fantasy 15, the ones who kind of joke their way through pain, but would throw themselves in front of danger without
Wasn't he an adult? No. He's like 14. If even.
any hesitation. Akame from Akame Kill. She's
I've
very
watched
efficient, quiet, and emotional in all the ways that sneak up on you. She doesn't talk that much, but when she does, it hits you very hard. In her final fight with Esdeath, I don't think I'd ever seen a female character quite like her. She was so beautifully lethal and emotionally unreadable. I've yet to play Nier myself yet. I'm so sorry.
2B! Oh, why has she not played it yet? Oh, she's gotta play it. Oh, I gotta play it again. Oh, what an amazing game. Bro.
But from what I do know, she reminds me a lot of 2B. Calm, focused, repressed, but somehow still very emotionally devastating. Kaori from Your Lie in April. She's so bright, beautiful, and tragic, and is just one of those characters that very gently destroys you. And she wasn't just some manic pixie dream girl, she was hurting and then still trying to bring light to everybody else around her. Gave very much Aerith, very much you'll cry, rewatch, and question your mental stability. Terror and Resonance. Whole cast. This
I actually think I've watched this. Yeah, I actually think I've seen this. While this... Shortly after it aired, I binged it.
show caught me so off guard. I thought I was just gonna get like a cool, moody thriller, and suddenly I was totally devastated. It's very quiet and beautiful and so heavy in a way that just kind of sneaks up on you, kind of like if Inside or Journey had more dialogue and trauma. Asuna from Sword Art Online, one of my first real favorites. She could have been just the love interest, but she's so much more. Strong-willed, smart, emotionally aware, and very quietly fierce. I loved how she could be terrifying with the sword and then turn around and offer someone gentle encouragement. She kind of reminds me of Sherry from Resident Evil 6. Yes, I know, very
As AO civilization carries. That is true. It does. The Alicization art is so fucking good. Like, legitimately entire fucking build up to that. Amazing. I really hope we get a new season anytime soon, man. We're starving out here. Give us more SAO content.
very different tones, but stay with me. Both very composed, sharp, and kind of even keel under pressure. And she's really been through it, but she doesn't make a huge deal about it. There's such a quiet strength to her that is so steady and likable.
I really hope that she's going to bring up Frieren, since she's talking about emotional stories.
By this point, I had realized anime wasn't just good, it was crafted. And I think that's part of what made me fall in love with it all. Anime made space for emotional storytelling in a way that just felt very true and lifelike. It wasn't afraid to sit with very messy, intense stuff. Grief, longing, rage, hope, and really just give it room to breathe. The pacing, the pauses, the way a scene can flip from goofy to gut-wrenching in seconds and still feel totally earned. What really got me, especially kind of earlier on, was the very vast emotional range. The screaming, the crying, the sheer intensity, it was all so exaggerated but very intentional and authentic.
Yeah, because the Japanese are, what's the word? Perfectionists. And they give it their all in their voice acting roles. Like, if you ever saw how the Japanese record their voice sessions, they put their entire body into it, man. They feel the fucking scene. It's amazing.
I would go watch Western animation, and then anime would just feel so much more mature, almost. Like, I don't know, like it was some kind of higher level. Kind of like going from normal cable TV to HBO, at least in years past. They've had some struggles recently. In fact, anime was one of the very first things that got me interested in voice acting. The delivery, the breath work, the emotional cadence of a single line, it all very much blew my mind, and it kind of planted the seed for something that I did not know that I'd end up pursuing later. And yes, I have seen so many sweet comments about my voice, and it really means more than you guys could ever know.
She has a
I
really
have been
soothing
voice acting
voice.
as a hobby for the past 4 years, and no, you haven't really heard me in anything that you would know yet, but hopefully soon. So thank you so much for all of the kind words. Also, a bit of a confession. I was totally a sub-only purist when I started out. The raw emotional delivery in Japanese just
Yeah, because sub only is just superior, simple.
hit different. But recently, I have found myself loving the dubs. 100 Girlfriends, Solo Leveling, the performances have just
Nah. 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 Nah.
been so good, and I have a whole new appreciation now that I've actually met people in the industry. Matching the timing, the intensity, and still making lines feel very emotionally grounded, it is definitely not easy. And English voice actors have to honor the tone and the rhythm of the original while still making it seem completely authentic in a totally different language. And they've come a long way, and it's only been getting better and better. So yeah, I did not grow up watching anime, and at some point I kind of fell off again. And it's not because I stopped liking it, but because life had just got in the way. These days, I keep up with the bigger ones: Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, Mashal, you know. But
They're all
I
great.
haven't really fallen into something in a long time. Lately, though, I've been wanting to change that. Not just watching like a filthy casual, but actually getting really back into it. I miss caring way too much about fictional people in a fun way, because anime didn't just kick off a phase, it made me realize the kinds of stories I'm always going to be drawn to. The ones that are soft and heavy at the same time, the beautifully flawed characters, the emotional gut punches, the quiet moments that hit louder than the hard ones. It's the same feeling that I get from games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Final Fantasy.
It isn't the end fault. They have to fit lines into screen frames, etc. But Japan just does it as intended, to be honest. I don't know about that, because there are English voice actors that are really good. They are really good voice actors, but generally, English voice acting for anime is kind of garbage. But there's also a lot of good English voice actors that does voice acting for games, which is really good. Like Joel, Ellie, the voice actor for what's her name? For the main protagonist in Horizon Zero Dawn. God damn it, where's my head? There's a lot of good English voice actors. It's because anime, to most of them, is just a paycheck, and that they're not actually into anime, that they don't have their soul into it. While for games, a lot of times the English voice actors apply for the games because they are actually into it. Aloy, yes, Aloy. The voice actor for the Spider-Man games. I haven't actually played that, but a lot of times the voice acting for gaming will be really good. The voice acting for shows, like dubbed shows, will be okay, like live action shows. But anime always falls flat, kind of. It's just, you know? I think to most of them, it's literally, most of them, not all of them, there are exceptions again, but to most of them, it's just a paycheck if they're not actually into anime.
To the Moon, Celeste, or A Plague Tale, where you're playing along and suddenly a line or a very intricate detail or moment just kind of hits you, and you're like, oh, okay. That's probably gonna live in my head forever. But whether it came from a cutscene, a betrayal, a soundtrack, or an episode that you stayed up way too late to watch, please tell me your spiral story. Or, I don't know, if there's a show that hit you a little harder than you expected, drop it in the comments because I need to hear your recommendations. What should I start off this next arc watching? I'm very open to spiraling again, so let's build a watch list.
I don't actually have any recommendations at this moment for anime. Oh, she should watch KoAlan actually. And Freeren, if you're into emotional stories, watch Planet After Story as well as Freeren. Yes, Freeren. Comment. She needs to start watching VTubers. Pretty sure she watches Alana, since she brought Alana up as an example. Unless she only brought Alana up as an example because Alana did react to her before that. Could also be the case. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Either way, here's the video. Great video. I liked it. She has a really soothing voice. She has really awesome text, generally. Yeah. Yeah.